We ended up going 5 for 6 on the day. I'm going to be breaking down the overall trades that were made today with inside Team Roar. I'm also going to be going over our levels heading into CPI. We got some new levels of interest that we are planning to trade at. Let's get straight into today's analysis. So in terms of the levels of interest, the key make or break level, and in terms of what I'm seeing on the daily chart, this is just from a technical view on the daily chart. The daily chart is setting up overall bullish. And then when we hit a certain resistance level, I'll be going over the potential resistance levels. We're likely going to see a bull trap. We're likely going to see a nice pullback if we do gap up. But based off of how this daily chart is overall setting up, it is setting up for a move to the downside and then a potential sell-off. So in terms of the main level that I want you to be aware of heading into tomorrow is this zone 542, so the previous closing price, and 543. We still have a gap waiting to fill at 543. So 543, this is your make or break resistance. We break above this, we're going to see a massive move to the upside. We break above 543, turn it into support. The SPY is going to start to uptrend to this 550 zone, right? Now, if we crack under 542, it's going to be an attempt for a micro bearish flip. For the bears to gain true control, we need to see a crack under 539.60 with a red bearish 30-minute confirmation. If that occurs, the next level we drop to is going to be 536. Next level under that is going to be 533. 533 is going to be a key level of interest where I am planning to buy call options. In terms of the overall strategy, we have previous resistance right here at 533, which was not tested, along with that bullish green, red, green pattern. SPY ended up gapping up. So once it drops back down to this previous resistance level, which is aligned with this gap that is waiting to fill, it is going to turn this breakout, this gap and go level likely into a support level. Breakout, gap and go, come back down, retest, turn it into support, right? Overall break and retest in that sense. So that's going to be a key level of interest where you should not have a problem making money buying call options at this 533 level. You wait for a bullish 30-minute confirmation, wait for a trend reversal 30-minute confirmation, wait for an overall bullish pattern, right? So that's going to be the overall levels and game plans of interest, right? So you got that make or break zone, 543, 542. If we're holding above 542, very bullish. We break above 543, very nice bear trap and run to 548 to 550. For the bears to gain control, we have to truly go under 540, reacts as a resistance, drops back down to 536.50. Next level under that is going to be to fill the gap. Once we fill the gap, I'm very interested in buying call options at that overall gap level. So in terms of my true best levels that I'm interested in trading at, 533 call options. I'm keeping an eye on the make or break zone. 540, 542 to 543, and that 550 overall zone. So in terms of that upper zone, if we do get that clean break above 543, I'm going to be very interested in doing some put options towards that 548 to 550 zone if we get the red bearish overall 30-minute confirmation, man. This is a pattern that you guys should have all captured. If you study my stuff, this is the same exact pattern that we recently used to bank on call options, man. Remember how there was a lot of resistance right here on the SPY at this 547, 547, 547? Well, if you are seeing a major resistance channel, right? Look at all this major resistance on the SPY. You have major resistance right here at 547, major resistance at 547, and you also have big moves to the downside, big moves to the downside, big moves to the downside in a short period of time. Meaning, if the SPY has a gap up above that previous resistance like it did right here, and it's turning the bottom of the 30-minute candle, the bottom wick at that previous resistance, turning into support, it's going to be a gap and go, and it's going to continue to run up. So this same pattern will continue to repeat itself. So make sure you save that, because we literally called this out in terms of the overall trade analysis if you've been studying the overall recaps. But look, we had the same exact pattern repeat today along with the green, red, green pattern. So you could see right here, there was a resistance zone at $536, right here at $536, right? So the SPY had the green, red, green pattern and then had a massive gap up. The new floor is slightly above the previous resistance. And then you have the green, red, green. You buy call options on the opening of this 30-minute candlestick. It's having a gap up. It's turning this previous resistance level into a support level. After it gaps up above it, you have a new floor for 90 minutes with the green, red, green pattern. So if you utilize the strategies that I teach you to make you self-sufficient, you should have been in on call options right here on the opening of this 30-minute candlestick at 11 a.m. You should have said, okay, SPY had a gap up. There's a new floor for 90 minutes straight with all these bottom wicks above the previous day highs, above a major resistance channel. And then in terms of measuring the move, this went from 536 all the way down to 531. So that's a 5-point move to the downside. If it turns it into support, it's going to have a 5-point move to the upside. That's how you measure the move. Nothing but green bullish 30-minute candlesticks with all these wicks to test after that green, red, green pattern formed. So in terms of that overall trading strategy, that was a SPY had the gap up. It had a gap and go. It formed a floor above the previous day highs, and it was destined for a 5-point move to the upside. And then you had the green, red, green pattern as a confirmation, man. Look at all of those strategies you could have combined to buy call options at 11 a.m. with the perfect confirmation of the green, red, green 30-minute pattern. The floor is above the previous day highs. Previous day highs had a big move to the downside. Well, if it gaps up, reacts to support, holds for 90 minutes, green, red, green pattern, gap and go, it's likely going to have a 5-point move to the upside instead of a 5-point move to the downside. So inside of Team Roar, we did end up absolutely crushing it on the overall day, man. I'm going to walk you through the trades. So let's get straight into this, man. I'm going to walk you through all the trades that we ended up making here step by step. I'm going to break this down for you, man. We've got a real-time options trade alert system. I'm going to break this down here for you. So in terms of the first trades on the day, it was on SPY call options. As you can see right here, we ended up buying 540 SPY calls for 47 cents a contract. In terms of where we got out, we ended up exiting at the 70 cent range. And then we did end up buying another strike on calls as well. We ended up buying 539 SPY calls for 59 cents a contract. And then in terms of that overall exit, that was in the overall mid 90 cent range for two very, very nice wins on the overall day trading the SPY call options, using that overall strategy, man. Simply understanding, man, if we are getting a gap up above the previous day highs and the floor is at or slightly above that previous 30-minute candle and it's getting ready to close green, we're getting ready to buy call options and it's going to start to retest the high of this 30-minute wick, like I tell you all the time, man. So those were the overall two plays for calls, man. It was absolutely flawless, man. In terms of the option chain, I'll show you, man. In terms of the 540 calls, this was the 540 calls. We ended up getting in on these call options. I'm going to show you. We ended up getting in right here on the 540 calls, right here. And we ended up exiting right here. And it ended up going all the way to 247 a contract, man. Look at this move you have, right? So that's a crazy overall play from that overall, 40 cent range to 200 a contract at the speed of light. And then the 539 calls, this was crazy, man. We bought this one towards the exact lows on the day. We ended up getting in on these 539 calls right here. And they ended up going all the way to 300 a contract, man. So we started the day off with 2 wins. And then I'm going to walk you through the next trade. This trade was absolutely impeccable, man. In terms of the timing, this was fucking insane. Look at this trade right here. And the game plan was flawless. All of the levels to go long ended up working. We had this game plan to buy the dips above 534. Every single level to go long ended up working, man. So with that being said, in terms of the next trade, man, I'm going to walk you through this. Let's buy 539 SPY puts for 50 cents a contract. This was at 1:33 p.m. Take a look at this, man. We go to the option chart right here. I'm going to show you 1:33 p.m. We ended up getting in on those puts right here at 1:33 p.m. in the 50 cent range towards the exact lows. Just like 10 minutes after we get in, look at this. We have an instant spike and flush on the fucking SPY. These contracts go from fucking 30 cents to 80 to 90 cents at the speed of fucking light. They go to 30 to 90 cents within minutes. And we got out towards the exact fucking peak, man. Look at this. So as soon as we had that massive spike in moving contracts, we had to protect ourselves. All those gains happened in a singular minute. And those contracts were just at 30 cents. We were in 50 cents. So the way we protected ourselves was, look at this, 1:47 p.m., you set your profit stops. That was sent out right here at 1:47 p.m. at the exact fucking peak of these contracts. And then we get stopped out for profits. And then in terms of the overall last trades on the day, I absolutely crushed on calls. I'm going to walk you through this one, man. So I'm going to walk you through the overall trade that I ended up making on SPX call options here. So at 3:56 p.m., I ended up buying 430 SPX calls in the 200 cent range. Why did I end up buying these SPX calls? I'm going to walk you through this. It had to do mainly with the 1 minute chart. I was looking at the 30-minute chart, and I was saying that, SPX is likely going to close strong. At first I thought it was gonna have a nice dip and then recover for a bullish run. My plan was to buy call options on SPX when it drops all the way back towards the lows of the previous 30-minute candle, which was 420, right? The plan was to dip buy it there, but it did not drop back that low. So I ended up getting in later on to the day using the 1 minute chart. I was well understood that the 30-minute chart was trying to close very strong and bullish on SPX. So once I saw that it was bottoming at a slightly higher price from where I wanted to get into, I waited for a confirmation on the 1 minute chart and ended up working out fantastic. So in terms of this overall trade, we had the green, red, green pattern. The green candlestick was literally getting ready to close strong at the highs. And we had this new floor for 90 minutes straight at the previous resistance. Those were some of the reasons for getting with calls. You can see the green, red, green pattern on that third candlestick on the 90-minute mark. The green pattern ends up closing very strong at the overall highs, right? So in terms of this SPX play, I ended up getting in on these contracts at 3:56 p.m. I'm going to walk you through this trade, man. So this is where we ended up entering that particular trade right here at 3:56 p.m. And I do believe this is the third day in a row where SPY and SPX calls within the last 4 minutes of market close. If you were to buy call options, you could have made multiple 100% profit returns. That was another reason why I bought calls as well. I noticed this pattern where this is the third day in a row, I believe, where within the last 4 minutes from 3:56 to 4 p.m., there's been a massive move to the upside on call options, man. So that was another reason as well with that history repeating itself, along with the confirmations that I gave you on the 30-minute chart, and then we'll get into the 1 minute chart. So I bought these SPX calls right here. They're trading in the 200s. Look at how fucking fast this happens, man. This is the beauty of trading during power hour. You can outperform everyone with the lowest risk involved. You can risk $200 on a fucking contract. If it expires worthless, you lose $200. But in terms of the rewards, these can go up 1,000 plus. Look at this. In 4 minutes, this went from 200 to 880. I ended up selling at the 359 mark into the 400 range. Now, with that being said, man, that was a phenomenal trade. In terms of why I ended up getting in on the 1 minute chart, you've probably seen me talking about this candlestick a lot. You really need to save this candlestick. And whenever I'm trading SPX, I'm also watching SPY. The candles can be slightly different at times. But I was looking at the overall 1 minute chart. It was on SPX. Yeah, it was on SPX in terms of the 1 minute candle that I was looking at. This is what I was seeing, man. This overall candlestick right here. When you see a stock that's on an uptrend, so you're seeing a bullish uptrend, let's say a 30-minute bullish confirmation as well. If you are seeing this overall like red trend reversal candlestick as it's trending up, right? This is what it looks like, man. This candlestick right here, if you're seeing this red trend reversal candlestick as it's trending up, and you have a green candle before that, it's likely going to have a green, red, and then a massive spike in a very short period of time. I'm telling you, this 1 minute candlestick right here, this is what it looks like. If you ever see a slanted sideways bullish uptrend and you're seeing this red trend reversal candlestick and there's a green candlestick before it, it's likely going to be a green, red. And when it closes red like that, you buy call options. As soon as the next 1 minute candle opens, it's likely going to have a massive spike to the upside. Those are the reasons for calls. This is an extremely bullish trend reversal candlestick. I've used this same exact candlestick to make an absolute killing on AMC calls. You go back to one of the first videos that I posted on this channel breaking down AMC, where we literally called out the exact fucking spike from 40 to 70 plus the next day, man. It had to do with the daily chart in this daily pattern. It's literally in the video. But with that being said, man, that is the overall breakdown of the overall trades. This was an amazing day with inside of Team Roar, man. We got members absolutely crushing it. So for those of you who do want to surround yourself in my secured private organization, you do want to join. It's the first link down below within the description. And what you get access to is our real-time trade alerts. You get access to our real-time options trade alert system. What it is that we're doing is we're buying cheap, far, low risk, out of money option contracts, and we are known for selling them deep in the money for the biggest percentage gains. These contracts are the lowest barriers to entry. They are the highest rewarding contracts, and they are the lowest risk. We size in very, very small. We let the percentage gains do the work for us. And then when we add to winners, that does the work for us in terms of the capital. And we set profit stops. We do not set stop losses. So inside of Team Roar, what we're putting in inside of our contracts, that is going to be our max risk, right? So in terms of a losing trade, we just let it expire worthless. We do not set a stop loss. Now what we do is we set profit stops. We add to winners as we begin to get up. When we're up like 10, 15% on a trade, we start adding to winners, playing for the bigger move, and then we set profit stops to secure and protect the profits. And then as the trade begins to work in our favor even more, we move the profit stop higher to protect averaging our cost up and adding to the winners, right? To protect those big winners that we're experiencing. So with that being said, man, that's just some of the basics to the system. If you guys want to gain access to a real-time options trade alert system, it is going to be the first link down below within the description. Every single day, you're going to see multiple trades on the day. We are laser focused on just trading SPY and SPX, and then at times you will see us trade top 10 holdings within SPY. Sometimes you'll see Tesla, sometimes you'll see Nvidia, where it's not 0 date, but if the contracts are cheap, we'll do it. But the number one focus here is 0 date, far out of money option contracts. We are selling them deep in the money. We're buying them cheap, low risk, far out of the money, and we have the highest win rate in the game doing this. And you do also get access to that updated morning game plan. Nearly every single morning you get access to a new game plan with new levels to go short and to go long. So with that being said, those were the overall trades that were made with inside of Team Roar. We absolutely crushed it today. So for those of you who do want to join us, it's going to be the first link down below within the description, and I will see you guys tomorrow towards market open.